Today, I'm proud to announce the NDP's plan for affordable, quality daycare available across Canada.
Wonderful. It's beautiful. I wish there could have been someone else to raise my children. I wish the state could have raised my kids. It would have been so... Moral Maze, a weekly journey into a complex world of attacks on the unborn, the family, and the very traditions that underpin Canada. Or maybe just a bunch of paranoia. We'll find out. Jack Fonseca from Campaign Life is here to enlighten. Leader of the NDP there, talking about daycare, because... You know, people are dying of poverty every day, and children just watch their parents die in front of them. We've got to have daycare. You know that.
Oh, yes. We need the government to substitute for parents and raise our children for us. Because the best thing for preschool children, from 1-year-old through to 4-year-old, is for the government to raise your children. You know, there's a legitimate question around this national daycare scheme that the NDP is proposing and the Liberals have proposed in the past, and that is, does it actually harm the children that it purports to serve? Yeah. Because what's happening, and we know this from the Swedish experience, which they have a national daycare system that's heavily subsidized by the government, is you end up putting children between the ages of 1 and 3 away from their parents for long hours, daily, being raised by a government worker, essentially. And
Sweden seems a fairly civilized nation. It
is, but there is research there, and there are writers who are speaking out against it and pointing to increased aggression in children that carries on through adulthood, emotional, psychological problems, anxiety.
You know, I don't know if any of that's true or not. I think it comes down to an issue of choice. What I really dislike is the idea that I should pay more taxes, making it impossible to raise my kids so that we can have kids raised collectively. Now, if people want their children in daycare, if they can't afford to raise them themselves, okay, fine, they should have that opportunity. What the NDP seem to be saying is you will do what you're told. You will have your children raised the way we tell you, unless you're very wealthy, and then the taxation level doesn't matter, because you can still afford it. But if you're in that huge middle, your taxes will be so high, the children have to go. Yeah. It's rather like, I mean, the state system of education is not bad. There are some wonderful teachers out there. It's not a bad system. But because we pay such high taxes, we can't afford an alternative. So we're being denied choice.
That's the economic angle and the coercion angle. But there is legitimate research that's been done, even in Canada here, of the Quebec daycare system that's been around for many years now. And it showed a 17 times higher level of anxiety in children that were
17 times.
17 times.
Not 15 or 19, but 17.
Well, that's what the research showed when they did a comparative study to children who were not of the same age, who were not in the Quebec daycare system, who were raised at home, and they found greater aggression, behavioral problems.
Those Quebecers, they're so aggressive.
Yeah, so there is definitely an ethical angle to think about here.
Now, the euthanasia debate has been going on for some time. I went to the Dying with Dignity rally, was it last week? We've got a brief clip, I think, from that, haven't we? Can we see that young lady I spoke to?
Why put someone through days and days of torture when they should be able to have their own control and, you know, take their life in their own hands, say goodbye on their terms?
She was probably the most sane person there, but 17 times as sane as... I mean, she made an argument, and it was understandable. A lot of the people there were, how should I put it, they were odd. They were certainly odd. A lot of people today, though, believe that if they're at a state of life and they really think that they don't want to carry on, then they should be helped to die. What's wrong with that?
Well, the problem is that people aren't being given full information about what the agenda is and where euthanasia will eventually take us as we go down this euthanasia rabbit hole. The media puts out, and the proponents from the suicide lobby, they tell the public, the Canadian public, that this is really about helping, giving options to terminally ill people. And that's where people stop thinking. Well, it's not about that. What we've seen, the experience in the Netherlands, in Sweden, in Oregon, and everywhere else, in Belgium where it's been legalized, is the expansionary power of euthanasia, where you end up with people demanding the right to have a doctor kill them if they're merely depressed.
Yeah, but if you lived in Belgium or Oregon, you'd want to die.
Well, all kidding aside, this is where it goes. Yeah. And we've seen perfectly healthy spouses demand euthanasia and have a doctor participate in their killing because their spouse was ill or dying.
Is there a middle way?
Because there is no middle way.
Really?
No, there is not. Because once you allow euthanasia for the reason that someone has unbearable suffering. Well, unbearable suffering is subjective. You may have unbearable suffering because you're depressed. Someone else may have unbearable suffering because their children have died.
Can we not write a law that says that depression and mental anguish and illness is not a cause, but if there is direct physical pain,
those laws have been written in the Netherlands, in Belgium, and Sweden, and they've all given way to euthanasia on demand. You cannot control it once you say that killing is an acceptable solution to human suffering.
Okay. Rhode Island bishop encourages Catholic voters to write Mother Teresa on a ballot when all the candidates are pro-abortion. I think I've met this fellow. I spoke in Rhode Island. I think I met him. Why? Why would you do that?
Well, Bishop Thomas Tobin is a very courageous bishop. He's been very outspoken on the pro-life issue and on the defense of marriage and other moral issues. And, you know, he was approached by a constituent or a Catholic in his diocese who said, listen, the midterm elections are coming up. I've got nothing but pro-abortion politicians on the ballot. What do I do in this situation? And one of the things that he suggested was write in Blessed Mother Teresa on the ballot to send a message, kind of as a protest vote. Now, this is controversial, even among social conservatives. In the U.S., you know, some pro-life people, some social conservatives would disagree with that. They're saying, listen, when you have a choice between the party of death, the Democrat Party, and the Republican Party that is, you know, largely pro-life still, you should vote for the pro-abortion Republican in order to try and depose the party of death candidate. And there are people in Canada who would argue the same thing with, you know, what Justin Trudeau is making into the party of death, the Liberal Party of Canada.
Why do you use the phrase party? I mean, you know where I stand, and I've taken a lot of knocks for my position, but party of death? Why use such language?
Well, what is abortion but the death of preborn children?
You know how pro-life I am. I just think using terms like party of death tends to close down the conversation completely.
I'm telling you what many social conservatives describe the Democrat Party as.
What about if she wins? What are you going to do then? It's like the NDP candidate in Quebec who was on vacation and she actually won, had to come back and be an MP. So Mother Teresa, God rest her soul. As always, a great pleasure. Thank you very much.